Guys, in today's video, we're gonna show you how to make an awesome pork butt. A 9-hour cook. It's gonna be great. Oh, look at this big boy. Hey there, folks. This is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another Food Fridays here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. And we've got an awesome treat for you today. So we've got a delicious bone-in pork butt right here. This pork butt is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6.5 to 7 pounds. We're gonna be cooking it on the Traeger smoker grill. You don't have to have a smoker grill to do this. You can do it in your conventional oven, like what we have behind us. Where is that thing? Right there. Or you can do it out on your grill. It's gonna turn out smokier and more delicious on the grill, but you can do it inside too. This is gonna be about a 6.5 to 7 hour cook today, and we're gonna show you everything that we've gotta do to make this pork butt shine. So let's have some fun. Woo! Stoney Ridge Farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. Woo! Okay, guys and gals, welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here or your 500th time here, please pound that like button. It really helps the channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to recognize that people like this kind of content. So what we've got is this pork butt. Before we even get started with the pork butt, I'm gonna set it over here to the side, and we're gonna talk about what we're gonna be using with this pork butt, and we're actually gonna go ahead and make our concoction. So this is the Holy Gospel barbecue rub from Meat Church. That's what we're gonna be using. I found that this Meat Church seasoning has been very good, very consistent, and consistently delicious in our meat. So we'll be trying some other stuff later on in some future Tool Tuesdays, but that's what we're using for today's video. We also have apple juice, 100% juice right here, and a little bit of Bragg apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of honey. This is honey from our honeybees right here on the farm. I have some apple cider vinegar, and if you want to make apple cider vinegar, all you have to do is ferment apple juice. That's it. So I've got some apple cider vinegar that we've made. Next cook we do, we're going to use the homemade apple cider vinegar. It's going to be awesome. And what that's used for is basically to help penetrate the meat. So we've got our seasoning. We're actually going to do a little bit of a mustard bath on this critter, and we'll show you how all that works. We're going to use that to help the seasoning adhere to the meat. So without further ado, let's get to mixing. So we're gonna take our delicious apple cider vinegar and we're gonna do the boo-boo. We're gonna shake her up and get her all milky and nasty. That's that flavor, that's what we want. And what the apple cider vinegar does, it's acidic and it pulls the juices into the meat. So we wanna put about 1/3 apple cider vinegar in our little mix right here. This is a spray bottle. I'll post a link down the video description to this critter, and I'll post a link to the Traeger grill that we're using. I've got 2 Traegers on the back porch. I bought a big one first, and then I bought a smaller one. Typically, if you're not entertaining more than about, 4, 5, 8 people, you don't need a great old big Traeger smoker grill. And if you don't have one, that's okay, guys. Just know that being interested in cooking like this has really helped me with my weight loss. So I've lost around 55 pounds over the last 3 months just cooking on the Traeger and doing a little bit of low carb dieting and paying attention to what I eat. So it helps, it works. And if you get interested in cooking and stuff like this, then it's awesome. So here we go. We're gonna put 1/3 apple cider vinegar, and then we're gonna put the other 2/3 of just 100% apple juice. And this is gonna be our spritzer, or our spray. And now we're gonna bring the pork butt over here and we'll show you how we do the rub. We're gonna put the rub on, we're gonna let it sit for about 20 or 30 minutes and sweat out. While it's sweating out, we'll show you what we're doing on the Traeger grill. Okay, so let's bring this pretty old pork butt over here and we'll talk about what we're doing. So you've got 2 sides of the pork butt. You've got the non-fat side and you've got the fat side, okay? So we wanna take a little bit of this fat off here, and you know, know your butcher for sure. We picked this up at Prilliman's Butcher Shop in Martinsville, Virginia. Great people for sure. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of this fat. We've got a nice sharp butcher knife. Butcher's worst enemy is a dull knife, and it helps if this piece of meat is just a little bit on the cool side. So all I'm gonna do is just shave off some of this fat pad right here, and this is just gonna eliminate trimmage later on. So we want this to develop an awesome bark on it. We want to get down there to where we can see some muscle fibers. Leave a little bit of fat on there. Could cook it down, feed it to the puppy dogs if we wanted to. We do have chickens, and chickens will eat pork fat also. So we're taking this fat off so that we have a good smoke ring, and you'll see that when we get done with the meat. That smoke is gonna settle into here and make this an absolutely delicious piece of meat. Let's get rid of this fat and we'll go ahead and get our seasoning in place. So this, again, is a bone in. You can see our bone. Right there's our bone. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slather it down with a little bit of yellow mustard here. And this is a binder, okay? That's about all you'll need, maybe a little bit more. This is a binder. You're not gonna taste yellow mustard in this piece of meat. What this does is help the seasoning adhere to the meat. So we're just gently rubbing it on. You can use any type of mustard, your favorite type of mustard, a honey Dijon or whatever, because it's not really gonna affect the flavor profile of the meat so much as it's just gonna act as a glue to adhere the seasoning to the meat. If your wife likes mustard, it's time for a nice mustard massage. Absolutely awesome. Now, we're going to the meat church. Again, we're using Meat Church Holy Gospel, and we're gonna slather this dude up with it. We got a really thick piece of meat here. We're gonna cup our hand, kind of go right there, get all sides of it. We got a really thick piece of meat here. You're not gonna over salt this, okay? If it sticks to it, it's not gonna over salt it. This is the meat side. We'll make sure we get that bone good and all sides in here. When we put it on the smoker, or you put it in the oven, we're gonna put it with the fat side up. Okay, fat side up. Now, she's liberally seasoned. Let's go ahead and fire up the Traeger and we'll show you what the procedure is there. Guys and gals, I want you to just pay attention to what this looks like right now and what it's gonna look like in about 15 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes. This is gonna sweat out just a little bit. That salt is gonna pull moisture out of the meat, and it's really gonna start absorbing that rub right there, that Meat Church rub. All right, guys, welcome to the back porch. These are the two Traeger grills that I use. I bought two so that if I needed to cook two different things at once, I could at two different temperatures. These Traegers have an app, and I'll show you the app here in just a second, so you can set it and forget it, okay? So you can set it in here, forget it, go out and do some farm chores and stuff, and then come back and your food's ready. So let's go ahead and uncover the little guy. This is little T, the little Traeger, and we'll show you what we have to do to prepare it for cooking. All right, if you get one of these grills, you want to protect your grill, protect your investment, and have a cover for it for sure. What we'll do is go ahead and open her up. And I did a bit of a cook last week. This will be our pan for putting our water in here, okay? We'll check inside, make sure our pellets are full. Yeah, they're pretty full. We'll top it off. We've got to change out the pan right here. I'll show you. This is a Traeger disposable drip pan, okay? So we'll take the old drip pan out, fold it up, and we'll put the new drip pan in. So if you don't clean it out, ask me how I know this. You will have a fire. And a fire is not a good thing in a grill that you've left alone. So you don't want to do that. Put our grate back in place here, and we're going to set our temperature to 225 degrees, and we're going to let this guy go ahead and fire up and get running. You want to make sure you've got plenty of pellets in your grill so that you don't run out of pellets during the cook. So we turn the Traeger on, just hold the button, fire it up there. We want to turn our temperature up to 225 and accept right there. Push ignite to start, and that's it. Okay, so she's all fired up here. I don't like to waste this good smoke, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our pan of water in here. This just helps keep the meat nice and moist. So if you're doing this in an oven, you can also use a pan of water. You don't have to smoke this. You can do it in your own conventional oven. Let's go grab that piece of meat and we'll show you how it's sweated out. Whoa, look at that. Oh man, that's gonna be delicious. So we'll go ahead and set this guy over to the side. We'll reach underneath here, we'll cradle this guy and sit him right in, fat side up, okay? Just like so, right in the center of the grill. I'm gonna go rinse my hands and we'll give it its first spritz with the apple cider and apple juice. So this is the part where I like to use my honey, and I just have a little bit of honey left. We're gonna pour, I don't know, 2 shot glasses, 2 ounces of honey. We don't need that in there. 2 ounces of honey or so. We'll go ahead and we'll just slather it with a little honey on the top, just like so. Oh yeah. Now you can really see that honey kind of oozing down through there. This is gonna be a delicious piece of meat, guys. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit it with our spritzer, our spray, and we're gonna do this about every hour or so, whenever we think about it. But remember, if if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So you want to keep this closed as much as you possibly can once we get started. We're gonna go ahead and put our Traeger temperature probe in. We're gonna put it into the deepest part of the meat right here, all the way in there. There we go. And our temperature goal is gonna be 165 degrees. So this is our temperature probe. We're gonna plug it in right here. It's gonna ask me a question. Do I want the probe alarm to go off? Yes. Set our temp, 165 is what we're shooting for. It's our goal temperature. Put our pan of water in there to keep the humidity up. We'll give her one more little spritz. Yeah. What you'll find is this piece of meat will develop a bark over the outside of it. A bark meaning kind of a brownish, blackish color almost. So over time, this thing's gonna develop that bark. It's gonna get that smoke ring that's deeply penetrated into the meat. Now, if you don't have a smoker, again, you can use a conventional oven. You can still do exactly what we're doing right here, okay? So we're just gonna set it and forget it, because if you're looking, you ain't cooking. We'll come back in here and we'll spritz it down. We'll bring you guys back in a couple hours. Before we set it and forget it, I wanna show you guys the app. So there's the Traeger app. It's loading up on my phone. This monitors everything you need to look at on your Traeger grill while you're working with it. So the grill temp's 219, our goal is 225, our meat temp's 38 degrees, and our goal is 165, and I set a 4-hour timer on there, guys. So absolutely awesome. If I'm not at home or if I'm out on the tractor when this thing gets done, but we've got some more steps. We're gonna put it in a pan here. If you're doing this in an oven, you wanna start off in a pan. But if you're doing it outside the oven, you're gonna put it in a pan just like we're gonna do. So we're gonna pick this piece of meat up. It's gonna shrink down just a little bit, and we'll put it into the same kind of pan that I used to put my water in, and we'll show you that here in just a second. So that's it. We've got a few hours to go. We'll let this cook and we'll go get some farm chores done. Awesome, and I can watch it from my phone. Three hours in, guys, you tell me what you think. Oh, baby, look at that. Oh, man. I think we're in for an 8-hour cook, guys. This is a little bit bigger piece of meat than I thought it was gonna be. We're only at about 155 degrees, and we're 3 hours into this, almost 4 hours into this. Remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. All right, guys, so this piece of meat took a lot longer to cook than I thought it was gonna take. It's taken it 6 hours to get to this point, and I actually bumped the temperature from 225 to 260. So we are at 166 right now, and we're ready to go ahead and put it in the pan, okay? So it's gonna be pretty simple. All we'll do is we'll scoop it out and we'll put it in this pan right here. Now, whatever's left over from my spritz, which is a lot left over from my spritz, which again, this is about a third apple cider vinegar and the rest apple juice. So we'll put that in the bottom of the pan and let it cook for another 3 hours. So it's gonna be after dark when we see you guys again. We're gonna go ahead and scoop this guy up and put him in the pan. Oh, I wish we had smell-o-vision. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good. Oh man. So our temperature probe is right here. We'll go ahead and wiggle that guy out. We'll go ahead and scoop this guy up and get him into this pan. Barely fits in there. So we gotta pour the rest of this honey on here because I like a sweet barbecue. I don't know if you guys do or not, but I love a sweet barbecue. And we're gonna open up and put our spritz on here. This is just gonna make it delicious and moist. You want it about a ½ inch deep in the bottom of that pan. Now we're gonna add a little bit of Kinder's Master Salt. This is garlic, sea salt, butter flavor, okay? So we could just put butter on here, but we're just gonna put the butter flavor on here and spare ourselves the fat because this has got plenty of fat on it, trust me. And that looked delicious. Now we're gonna reach over, cover this guy up so it holds that moisture. And our goal temp is again 165 for 3 more hours. We'll keep our temperature probe, we'll just stick it right through the foil, right into the thick part of that muscle. And I can tell as I push it in that it's still firm and it needs to be falling apart. So we'll test it with a probe. This will be our probe for testing. You can see it's not really sliding in and out very easily. So we've got at least 3 more hours. I'll probably be up till midnight doing this. Guys, pound that like button if you like this kind of stuff. We're just having fun out here grilling. This is probably gonna be a 9-hour cook. Awesome, I can't wait to taste it. All right, guys, I just checked everything and we are at 181 degrees right now, and the probe just goes in like butter. So we're gonna run out there and we're gonna grab the pork butt and we're gonna bring it in here and show you. Nice. So, all signs point to this thing being rock star ready to go. We're gonna let the reveal be toward you guys so you can see what we've got. Oh, look at that. Man, that's awesome. So this is the pork butt. We need to let it rest quite some time. We've got a lot of au jus down in here. We've got spoons full of au jus. What we want to do is the telltale sign here, and again, this is 190 degrees. We need to be able to pull that bone right out. So hopefully, if we're totally done, look at that. Pulled right out. Perfect, perfect, guys. So, look at the juices. Man. Let's get our knife and check out the smoke ring. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, that just falls through there. This is going to be absolutely gorgeous. That's what we want, right there. We actually want a little more smoke, but look at that. That's what we're looking for right there. We actually wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more smoke. If you turn it around the other side here, you can really see. We penetrated really deep with that smoke. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. Let's taste it. Oh man. Guys, this is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece of meat. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be delicious. The bone just pulled right out. Here's the second bone. Man, it just pulled right out. This is perfect pork butt, guys. Perfect pork butt. Now what I did after, again, this is a rather large piece of meat. What I did was I actually turned the heat down. Once I hit the 165 mark, I brought the heat back down to about 200 degrees, and it sat in there and cooked for another 3 hours or so. So we got about 9 hours total cook time here, and we have a gorgeous, gorgeous pork butt. Let's do another little slice off here so you guys can see just how tender and how awesome this thing turned out. Let's look at that smoke ring. Oh, it really didn't penetrate too awful deep. You can see right here, that dark ring around the top side right there. That's what that Traeger does. That's what that pellet grill does. Makes it delish. So guys, thanks a lot. That's how you cook a pork butt. Me, friends, family, and neighbors are gonna chow down on this thing tomorrow. So I'm gonna chow down a little bit tonight, and they're gonna get some tomorrow. So we'll let it rest, then we'll pull it apart. We'll put our favorite barbecue sauce on there if we need it. We may not even need it. We'll pour off all this au jus, and we'll have this au jus set to the side. We'll put it in the refrigerator, and we'll pull off the fat and keep the flavor. Guys, thanks a lot. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. This is a beautiful pork butt. Super excited. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.
Oh, that's so good. We didn't know day away in the merry old land of Josh. Knife. Now that's a knife. Now that's a dull knife. Now that's a crappy knife. That's a knife that'll hurt you. We'll go out and look at the grills here. Is we're gonna put 2 parts. I don't know what that was. There we go. Let's get a little closer. I feel better. I feel closer. Hey. Hi. 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 I might eat all tonight.